Hey there, welcome back to those of you who have been following this series, either in person or by watching the replays, and a warm welcome if this is your first time joining. This is Daily AI Prompts for Job Seekers, and I'm William Craig III, a professional career coach, and I've got a clear mission for this series to help you move beyond overwhelm and into action. Yes, fact is, people who put out resources with hundreds of AI prompts are well-meaning, but too many prompts can actually be paralyzing. So instead, I've focused on giving you just one powerful, practical prompt each and every day. The goal? To help you run your job search or your job campaign with clarity, confidence, and strategy using AI as your assistant, not your replacement. And if you've missed any of the segments, feel free to watch on my LinkedIn profile or on the YouTube channel that's titled Get Up and Get a Job. Oh my goodness, what a great title, huh? Get Up and Get a Job. Just search for that in YouTube and you'll find it. So listen, everybody, I'm on location. I am not in my office. And the reason why you're seeing a blurred background of obviously a hotel room is because I was just contacted by StreamYard to find out that it wasn't the storm that was actually interrupting my feed, but it was the use of the virtual background. And there is a problem with Chrome and the virtual background on StreamYard, and they're having a fight. And every now and then, one of them wins and it knocks me out. So they suggested that I simply get rid of the virtual background. So we'll see how this works. All righty. So with that explanation of what's going on, and I certainly want to see your comments. If you have them, we can have them stream live. But I want to jump over to Miss Mary Mack. And let's get her up on the screen, at least our prompt for her for today. And we're going to go, let's get rid of me. And let's go full-fledged on with Mary Mack. And let's see here. I got to bring her to the stage. Got to bring it to the stage. Yeah, this one's different than that other company whose name I won't mention. All righty. So here we go. So we have done so much for Miss Mary Mack, all dressed in black with silver buttons on. Yeah, anyway, we've done a lot for Miss Mary Mack, the job campaigner. And gosh, we helped her with her mission statement. We've helped her with finding or identifying transferable skills and showing her how to make a business case for employers as it relates to why her transferable skills make her qualify for various jobs. We looked at job titles in different cities. And last time we were together here, I'll just remind you here, we actually looked at some freelance work, some gig work that Miss Mary Mack can be doing while she's in her job campaign, and even created a flyer for her. How cool is that? All right. But here we go. Today's prompt is this. Mary realizes that there are some people in her network, both business and personal connections, that she hasn't been in touch with for 6 months or more. Oh my goodness, Mary, what have you been doing? Neglecting these people. Anyway, because she's in a job campaign, she wants to reach out to people, but here we go. She doesn't want to sound sheepish. So we're asking ChatGPT, draft a 2-line reconnection message she can use to rekindle the relationship. Although she's looking for work, she doesn't want to come off as if she's begging. And let's get the rest of that, as if she's begging, while at the same time, she doesn't want to seem disingenuous. Keep the tone friendly yet professional. This is something that some of you have shared with me that you struggle with. Those folks that you haven't talked to in a long time, how do you get in touch with them in a way that, again, doesn't sound disingenuous? At the same time, it doesn't sound like you're crawling on your knees begging, saying, please help me get a job. So this is a great place to be right now, because again, for some of you, it's the case. And here's why this is important. Networking. One of my colleagues, Lyndon Kidd, always says that the difference between networking and not working is just one letter. All right. So in other words, you ought to be doing it. If you're not working, you ought to be networking. And sometimes that means certainly reaching out to new folks. And we talked to you about how to do that for folks who work with me as clients. I've got a series of things to help them with that. But here we go. For some of you, it might mean simply reconnecting with folks that you haven't been in contact with in quite some time. One of my most recent client success stories was that one of her former coworkers saw her on LinkedIn. They hadn't been in touch in 12 years. Okay, did you hear what I said? 12 years. And so, but he saw her on LinkedIn, saw all the good stuff that she was sharing through her LinkedIn profile. And guess what? He reached out to her and said, we've got a position that's opening up. I think it would be perfect for you. Well, don't you know? She contacted him to get more information, went through the interview process, and not only did she get the job, but this was her dream job. Oh my goodness, the dream job. So I'm just telling you here, it takes a lot. It's kind of like jambalaya. I was sharing with someone yesterday. It's kind of like jambalaya. And when something's missing, you can tell. And one of the things that's missing for a lot of you as it relates to your job, what you're calling a job search, and I call a job campaign, conversation for another time, is the fact that you are not effectively reaching out to people from your past. And that's what we're going to share with you today. So here we go. Let's take a look at what ChatGPT is recommending. And it is thinking. Absolutely. Here's a 2-line message Mary can send that's warm, authentic, and opens the door naturally. All right, let's see what we got here. Hi, John, Jane. I was thinking about you recently and realized it's been a while since we caught up. I'd love to reconnect and hear how things are going on your end. Let me know if you're open to a quick chat sometime soon. All right. So here we go. And I know there's some of you who say, I don't chat. All right. To a quick phone call. All right. To a quick Zoom call, whatever is most apropos for you and that person's relationship. So here we go. This is really cool because it says nothing about the fact that, hey, I'm out of work and I'm looking for work. I really need work. Can you help me get a job? No. Bottom line is, been thinking about you recently. You popped in my head and we need to catch up. Let's talk about what's going on. And in the midst of the conversation, certainly you can share the fact that, hey, by the way, I'm in a job transition and, would love uh, to talk about what you're doing and also share what I'm doing, what I'm looking for. And by the way, if you happen to hear something, feel free to let me know. I mean, something as casual as that. You don't have to tell them all your business. Okay. That's one of the things that I hear from people. Oh, I don't want people to know all my business. Well, guess what? It gets bad enough, people are going to know your business. So here we go. We don't have to tell them all your business. And at the same time, we can reconnect and we can rekindle the flame of friendship. So it says, would you like variations for LinkedIn versus text or email, or one tailored for professional versus personal? I kind of like all of this, but let's start here because we've got a little time. And we're going to copy and paste that in here. And let's say, yes, draft, one tailored for professional, and one for personal contacts. We'll get rid of the question mark and hit enter. And here we go. And we'll come back to the other elements of that. Certainly, here are two versions of Mary's reconnection message tailored for professional and personal contact. So we've got we've got a generic, all right? You could use this either way, whether it's personal or professional. But Chad has now given us this for professional contacts. For example, using it on LinkedIn, that connection request piece. All right. Or if you're sending them a direct message, if you all are connected already on LinkedIn, you can send it by email or even text message. Hey, Jim, Jane, I hope you've been doing well. I realize it's been a while since we last connected, and I really enjoy catching up and hearing what you've been working on lately. Let me know if you'd be open to a quick coffee or call sometime. Excuse me, or call sometime soon. Sounds a lot like the other one, but with the just tailoring it just a little bit to make it more professional. And I mean, you could even say coffee's on me. Okay. That's a nice touch. Here's for personal contacts. Hey, Jim. Hey, Jane. I was thinking about you and realized it's been way too long. I'd love to catch up soon. No agenda. Just want to hear how you're doing and reconnect. Now, this one, some might say, well, I'm not sure about that no agenda piece because I really do want Jim or Jane to connect me if they can with an opportunity. But it's up to you. You may decide that that's not most appropriate for you, and just say, I'd love to catch up soon. Just want to hear how you're doing and reconnect. And again, during the course of the conversation, you don't have to play the sad sack card. All right, Debbie Downer card. You could simply say, wow, really glad things are going well with you. That's really cool. I'm actually in the midst of a job transition, looking at project management or maybe operations. And, things are going pretty good. If, by the way, if you happen to know of anything or know of someone that you could connect me with, feel free to do so. But man, it's really, really good. Reconnecting with you. Okay. That's how smooth you got to be with it. All righty. I always say a little acting can go a long way in those types of situations where it could feel uncomfortable. All right. And for some of you, this is going outside of your comfort zone as it is. Let's see what else chat says. Would you like me to create a short tracker for Mary to keep notes on who she's reached out to and when to follow up? Man, that is so cool. and that's definitely something you should do. I want to go back though and go back to what Chat said. Would you like variations for LinkedIn versus text or email when tailored for professional or personal contacts? All right, so this one actually says, and let's copy that. Let's see how, you might, or Mary, how Mary might, let's do that. How Mary might edit this for, and then we paste LinkedIn versus text or email. So let's see what it comes up with that's different. Again, I hope these are of value to you. The feedback that you all have been sharing with me certainly has made me feel really good about going forward with this. Great. Here's how Mary might slightly tailor the message, tone, and format depending on the platform. So for a LinkedIn message, the tone is going to be friendly, polished, and concise. I always love clear and concise. Hi, John Jane. I hope all is well. I realize it's been a while since we last connected here on LinkedIn. All right. I'd love to hear what you've been up to and share a quick update on my end as well. Open to a short catch up sometime soon. Okay, not bad. And professional contact by email or text, tone slightly warmer, more personal touch. Hi, John Jane. I was thinking of you this week and realized we haven't caught up in a while. I'd love to reconnect and hear what you've been working on. No pressure at all, just hoping we can find the time to chat soon if you're open to it. Both keep the tone warm and professional without sounding needy or overly formal. Mary can personalize further by mentioning something they shared. For example, maybe a former workplace they used to work together, or a project that they worked on together, or shared interest. This is very interesting. It just, last night, late last night, I'd say probably around 9 or after 9, I got a text message from someone who it was my supervisor's supervisor some time ago. And he reached out to say, hey, I know it's been a while, but always thought of you as a professional, yada, yada. Don't know if you're open to any work opportunities, but my company is hiring, would love to talk to you about it. And boom, I mean, out of the blue, I got that. And so again, he maybe he used ChatGPT. I don't know, but here we go. Would you like a templated Google Sheet tracker for follow-ups? Here's what I'm going to ask it. Please create a table here for Mary to see. And I'm going to go back in here and say create a tracker. Tracker, got to learn how to spell, William. Tracker in a table format here for Mary to see. Here for Mary to see. All right, because I want you all to be able to see this. Yesterday, learn from what I did yesterday, and it gave me a downloadable piece, which that didn't help you guys because you couldn't see it, so we had to go back. Absolutely. Here's a simple reconnection tracker Mary can use right here in table format to track her outreach, follow-ups, and next steps with both professional and personal contact. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Gosh, I wish we had ChatGPT when I was growing up. Anyway, name, Jane Smith. Type of contact, professional or personal. You can choose and put it in here. Platform used, LinkedIn, email, or text. So you know how you reached out to this person, the date that you actually reached out to the person. Let's see. Response. Did you receive a response? And let's see. Let's resize this here. Hang on. So we can get all of this. All right, the date you reached out, did you get a response? And is there any follow-up needed? And then let's see here. Arrow over. Note, schedule a coffee chat for July 5th. All right, here we go. Marcus Lee, a personal connection, sent a text message on the 2nd. Did you receive a response? No. Follow-up needed? Yes. Try again next week. So now you can go into your calendar and you can set a reminder to reach out to Marcus Lee next week. All right. Who is Marcus Lee? He's a former coworker and friend. Olivia Ramirez, professional contact, reached out by email, sent it on July 3rd, got a response. Follow up needed? No. She referred me to someone at her company, and on and on and on and on, like hot. But no, that's another program. But you get the idea. And I mean, this is so cool. And certainly I could go back and ask ChatGPT to take this and create a downloadable whatever, Google Doc, Word Doc, Excel spreadsheet, whatever. But this is the idea to help you to keep track. And for many of you, even as it relates to the companies that you are reaching out to, you need to be tracking. You need to be tracking. You know, me and my colleagues, we coach that you can reach out to a company like up to 7 times within a couple of weeks, 2-3 weeks time frame. And you know, there's an art to it as well as the science of just doing that. But this is so cool. And here, look at this. Would you like this exported into an edible Excel or Google? Look at this, huh? We work so well together, me and ChatGPT. Oh my goodness, that Mary can use on her own. And so I'm just gonna say, hey, great response. Love, 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 love what it's done. Give it some high marks here, right? Give honor to whom honor is due, even if it's ChatGPT. All right, let me come out of my full screen and let's see if there are any comments that need to be shared. Let's stop the scrolling banner and see if there are any comments that you guys are sharing that we can see. And if not, that's cool too. I do want to share with you that today, like yesterday, today's sponsor is protectlittlelungs.com. Protect a child you love today. Protectlittlelungs.com. Did you know that summertime is when germs really, really, really get active? Oh my goodness, my little grandson came home with RSV. Yep, we've been through that before. My granddaughter caught it. And unfortunately, she gave it to me. She was sick for about a week. I was sick for about 6 weeks and lost 50 pounds. Then I couldn't gain the weight back and had a persistent cough. And oh my goodness, it was horrible. And then they came out with a vaccine. Well, okay, Johnny come lately. Nonetheless, here we go. Don't we want to protect our little ones as best we can? Then you need to look into N95. That's the original N95 masks to help protect your little ones as best you can. So go to protectlittlelungs.com and make that happen. Also, by watching this particular series, you get some free stuff too. It's an ebook entitled The 3 Things That Employers Expect You to Know But Won't Tell You. Huh? How cool is that? If you'd like your free copy, simply go to careertransitionsecrets.com. That's careertransitionsecrets.com. Alrighty, so we're broadcasting old school, broadcasting live on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Again, you can always watch the replay on my LinkedIn profile as well as on my YouTube channel, which is Get Up and Get a Job. And if you'd like to work with me as your career coach and you'd like to engage with me, hey, send me a note, your trainer and coach at gmail.com. And I'll be happy to let you know what that looks like. And we can talk and go from there. But at the end of the day, again, this series is free for you. And we're going to be here every day, as the Lord says so, and the creek don't rise, as the old folks used to say, with just one powerful, practical prompt that you can use to move your job campaign, move your job search along. We've got a few minutes. Let me just tell you why we call this a job campaign and not a job search. Because when you talk about a job search, you're searching for a job, and then what? And just, okay, you searched, you found it, and now what? Right, exactly. So here's the truth of it. You don't have to look far. You can go on LinkedIn, you can go to various job boards and search for a job. So here we go. What has to happen next is, and this is the real part of this, is you got to campaign. You got to campaign for that job. Okay, you found the job, you know what you want to do, and that for many of you is the problem. You don't yet know what you want to do. Again, if you're working with me, that's something that I can help you with. But if you don't know what it is that you want to do, you got to first identify it, because you cannot hit a target you don't have. Gonna say that again. You cannot hit a target you don't have. So you got to do some sort of research to figure out what it is you want to do. I didn't say you got to grow up, but you certainly have to have a target that you're looking to hit. And once you have that target, now you're going for it. I know that I want to be an accounts receivable, accounts payable specialist, or a manager in that field, or financial advisor, whatever it may be. Once you've done that, now we've got a campaign. We've got to find those opportunities, and then we have to campaign for it. And how do we campaign for it? It's just like a political campaign. Folks that are running for office don't have commercials that say, hey, I really want to be a benefit to my community, and so I'm running for office. Now, I'm not quite sure exactly where I fit in. So if you see something, here's my resume. If you see something and you think that this is a good fit, just write my name in. No, they don't do that. What they say is, hey, I want to be your next mayor, and here's why. Now, unfortunately, many of them do what? They lambast the other guy or the other gal, right? They do these smear campaigns and all this dirty politics stuff, right? They say it makes it interesting. Anyway, but what they should do is they should make a business case for why them, why this opportunity, why them for this opportunity, why is now a good time, and then let the voters decide, well, why not them? Okay. So that's the same approach that we need to take as it relates to our job campaigns. Here's who I want to be as a professional. I've found a position that seems like this would be a great fit for me. Okay. So it's all about why this, why me for this, why is now a great time for me for this. And ultimately, you're going to get in front of that person and you want them to be saying, well, hey, you know what? Why not this person? In fact, where has this person been all my life, right? All 2,000 applications that we've gone through. All right. So that's where that concept comes from. And again, I hope you understand that when you approach this differently, as they say, sometimes when you want different results, you've got to do something different. All right. It's not about clicking apply and clicking apply. It's not about just going to a job board and sending the same resume over and over and over to different jobs. That's in today's marketplace, that's not going to get you hired. All right. Can I just be real with you? All right. I want to be assertive here because I need you to understand that the job market has changed in so many ways. Gosh, that's a half hour to an hour program all by itself. But the truth of the matter is that things have changed. Even in the last 5 years, they've changed. COVID-19 reintroduced the world to something called remote work. I used to work for an organization years ago, and we introduced the concept of remote work. Wow, back in what? 2006, somewhere in there, 2000. I think, yeah, we started working on that 2006 and started getting people involved 2007. Okay, so it's not a new concept, but it had largely gone away from most companies. And then with the advent of COVID-19, it brought it back to the forefront, and folks had to, here's that P word they use, they had to pivot. Okay, and many of us got tired of hearing that word pivot. But again, my point is simply this: the job market has changed. And whether you're looking at a remote position or a hybrid position or even an in-person position, there are certain things that you've got to do now to get the attention of an employer. First and foremost, we got to get through the applicant tracking systems. And there's a way to do that. And in addition, we've got to, and I know some of you don't want to hear this, but you've got to have artificial intelligence tools experience. So if you don't play around, I'll use that term, you don't play around with some sort of AI tool like Claude or Perplexity or ChatGPT or InVideo or gosh, I could go, and that's another hour-long program. But if you're not using them, you need to start using them. And you need to be able to put it on your resume that you're familiar with artificial intelligence, generative artificial intelligence tools. That should be on your resume. All right. So again, I'm giving you one prompt a day. I happen to be using ChatGPT, but one prompt a day, and certainly play around with it. Take the same prompt, take your information, put it in chat, then go over to Claude and put it in there. Do the background research in Perplexity. All right. But become skillful at utilizing these various tools that are here to make you more efficient. I heard a stat, and I'm going to close with this, a stat that said about 70% of businesses are using some form of artificial intelligence in their businesses, but about 30 to 40% really still don't have a clue as to how they can maximize those tools and become more efficient and more profitable. My friends, that's where you can come in. Start taking some courses, some classes. Mom used to say, can all you get all you can, and can all you get. All righty. So that you can show up as that professional who's different from the other folks that are showing up for these positions. All right. Again, I hope this has been of benefit to you. I'm William Craig III, also known as the Career Transition Guy. I am a professional career coach. So again, if you're interested in working with me, you can reach out to me at yourtrainerandcoach@gmail.com, and I'll be in touch back. All right. Until tomorrow, same bat time, same bat channels. Stay safe in all you do. Bye-bye, everybody.